We joined Candace Robinson at Bass Racing this morning. Saturday runners, lovely ones, and an exciting card to go through, most certainly. Candace L Shack, I know that she's a reserve runner too, but should she get in, what type of run are you hoping from her?
She's doing well, Vicky. I think last time we tried a 1400 with her, she definitely is a sprinting filly. I don't think she gets the extra distance. So back to the sprinting trip. She doesn't get a run. I think there's a race next week, the following Saturday, so she'll probably run there. So I think 1,000 or a 12 for her, I think is where we need to be. And she's doing very nicely at home. Her work has been good. So yeah, I think if she does get a run or the following week, she'll be competitive.
Race 5 is the Lassa Stakes. Two lovely runners in October Morn, and you also have the Charleston. What are you expecting from both fillies?
Yeah, October Morn, Vicky, she won a really good race, her first run back at Durbanville in a mixed company. She's come on very nicely from that run. It's really brought her forward well. 1,000 metres at Durbanville, especially with Candy Town in, I think it's going to be a pretty quick run race. I just hope that it doesn't end up being a little bit too quick for her. But Vicky, she's got a lovely turn of foot, and she certainly will be running on well at the end. And I think she's nicely weighted here, so nice race for her, and I think she'll have a good winning chance here. The Charleston, also nicely weighted. She comes in with bottom weights. Unfortunately, she's drawn a bit wide, so that doesn't really help, especially when that there is that much pace in the race. So hopefully, coming from off them when there is that much pace, they are coming back to you a little bit more. And she's doing well at home. I think that first run also she needed will bring her on quite nicely, and she could have a small money chance.
Race 6, the Cape Mile, lovely strong race. Trip of Fortune comes in with the 63 kilos. That said, he should be able to hold his own, and this is he's the type of horse that really runs on well.
He does, Vicky, and I think he's going to have to be doing that on Saturday with 63 kilos and a bad draw. He's going to have to come from off the paces. I'm not going to be able to try and place him from there. He's run some of his best races like that, so I think we're just going to have to take our chances. He's come on nicely from his first run that he had. It's not the ideal race for him weight-wise, and that is, I know he's not giving away a lot of weight, but 63 kilos to carry is a fair amount of weight. And I think it's a decent field. There's some very competitive horses in there, so tricky race for him. I don't think it's cut and dried. He certainly will be running on, but he's going to have to take his chances from where he is.
Race 7, the Western Cape Fillies Championship, Winter Cloud. Obviously a filly with a great turn of foot, and it's becoming a little bit of a Clash of the Titans type race. Do you think she'll be able to hold her own?
She should be able to hold her own, Vicky. Obviously, first time she's going a 1400, I think she should get that quite comfortably. She too she's come on really nicely from that prep run that she's had. She's 2 kilos better off with Miss Geriatrics this time round. Thankfully, it didn't end up being too big a field because, again, we didn't get luck of draw here, and she is a type of filly that needs a bit of a chance anyway, so hopefully she won't have to be too far back with only 9 runners or 10 runners in the race. Yeah, I would love to have had a nice draw with her, Vicky, that I could just park off somewhere without having to try and make up the ground on Sean's filly, but I suppose it is what it is. But as I say, she's 2 kilos better off at the weights. She's run at this track before, and as I say, she's in good shape and doing well, so I expect her to run well. Just got to hope that we can get in front of Sean's filly.
You've in race 8 got the 2 runners, Piroshka and also Hammans Hero, both nice types that are always about.
Yeah, Hammans Hero, he's not really a Durbanville horse. He's just basically having a prep run here before we go to Kenilworth. He's not at his best at the moment, Vicky. I think he needs a race to bring him forward and to bring him back to where he was. So I don't expect too much from him. Piroshka in good form at the moment. He's been running consistently well. He's drawn nicely. He's got a big weight here. But I think, on his last 2 runs and on his work at home, he should be able to be competitive and have a good chance here.
The last of your runners on the day in race 9, you've got Flying First, who comes down in trip, and also Country Time, who has run a good race after a bit of time off.
Yeah, Country Time, again, in between runs now, she got a stone bruise on her foot, so she was off for another 2.5 or almost 3 weeks. So that set her back a little bit, so we're back to where we were before our previous run. 1,000 is a little bit on the quick side for her at the Durbanville track. She's doing nicely at home, but I think she might just, need a race, especially, from her draw. She's a filly that likes to race up handy, and I think, trying to overcome that when you're needing a run back a little bit, it might just tell at the end of the day. The other filly, I don't know what to say about her, Vicky. She works like a Trojan at home, and she just doesn't quite ever get her head in front on race day. So brought her back to the 1,000 metres this time round. I think she should be quite suited to that, especially on this track. But what can I say? She's working exceptionally well. She's drawn well, so she hasn't really got too many excuses here. You know, she does have top weight, which I think she probably has every time she runs. I think because she is pretty consistent, she doesn't really come down in the ratings. But yeah, all I can say is she's doing well enough, and I've just got to hope that she tries a little bit harder than what she normally does and can get her head in front this time.
Candace, thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
And looking out for Winter Cloud and also Triple Fortune. It's a lovely time of the year, and these horses are most certainly coming to hand.